What a week for denial, deceit, and delusion surrounding this tsunami of black crime and violence. What a week for a little bit of sorrow, which is unusual when we talk about that. Why don't we start out down in Washington, D.C., with Kim Kardashian holding a press conference with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Kim was talking about how she's devoting her life to criminal justice reform, which basically means getting a lot of black people out of prison, because everybody knows the only reason they're in there is because of white racism. She mentioned one person in particular. I did this on another video. I'll do it on the podcast. She referred to one person in particular who was convicted 35 years ago of killing 4 people in Chino Hills, California, and leaving a 5th person to die that he thought he was dead. Now, Kim, 35 years later, is convinced that, the cops, just like OJ, planted the DNA evidence, and they should let him out because 3 mysterious white guys did it. Now, why don't we head over to beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? We just did this story the other day about that crazy social justice warrior who had his jaw broken by 6, 7, 10 fellas and lovely ladies the evening of the Gay Pride Parade in Philadelphia. He came out the next day and told everybody, well, he's better than that. He's not mad at him because he knows blah, 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 blah. And he still has faith in the people. He still has faith in the city of Philadelphia. And he's down with the cause. And so I guess he's a little surprised the cause is not down with him. Come today in the story, the third day story, Janice Armstrong, she writes a big column saying, congratulating this white guy for taking his beating, parentheses, which he so richly deserved, on parentheses, with such civility. Yeah, she congratulated him for not getting all mad at those people who beat the crap out of him. On video. This is the same Janice Armstrong who basically writes about race every chance she gets. That's her thing. Racial resentment. Except when it comes to black on white violence, then she scratches her head and goes, what are you guys talking about? We don't write about race around here. We're not racially conscious. This is the same Janice Armstrong who last year, following a story where 200 black people, fellas and lovely ladies, rampaged through the campus of Temple University, beating the crap out of white people, putting 6 in the hospital on video. She did a story a couple days later after people like me came out and said, hey, what's up with that race riot? She came out and said, what? How could anybody confuse that with race? What is that? Quit trying to make that about race. It was just she said it. That was just a random thing with a bunch of random kids beating up some other random people, and race had nothing to do with that, Colin. And so constantly in the paper, TV, radio, everywhere, whenever there's an episode of black on white violence, everybody's kind of being told, tamp it down, don't get mad, don't get angry, don't grieve, don't get angry at the people who hate white people and who enable this kind of ridiculous hyper-violence. Yeah, that's a crime. That's a crime as far as I'm concerned, because it really does encourage more people to do it. Now, under the worst of circumstances, I must point to this woman in Mecklenberg, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, as a woman who's speaking from the heart, very important truth about how you and I are supposed to react when we come face to face with this ridiculous tsunami of evil that is terrorizing so many people.
Emotional embraces and tears outside the courthouse uptown. It is new heartache for a family still grieving the murder of their son.
Yes, they told Eyewitness News reporter Glenn Counts they were hopeful that the teenage suspects would plead guilty today. But now they're worried that this case will drag on for another year. Glenn?
Well, Erica, the family of Zach Finch was hoping to get their lives back today, that this would start off the healing process. Instead, they have more pain, which could last another year. Today was supposed to mark the end of court proceedings for the young teens charged with killing Zach Finch.
Every day that he missed out on, they should suffer for. They should be in jail for every hour, day, week, month he's not here. because we suffer every day.
Instead, in a surprise move, 15-year-old Jason Wilson pleaded not guilty, and the attorney for 17-year-old DeMonte McCain asked for 2 weeks to review new evidence, and the judge reluctantly agreed.
Give them more time and more time. Nobody gave my son more time.
It was understandably difficult for Zach's mom to control her frustration.
Not a hateful person, but I hate these people. They didn't know him. They had no right to take his life and destroy my family. And now we wait and we suffer for another year.
Police say Zach Finch met the two suspects via a phone he found on the Let Go app, not knowing he was being set up for a robbery.
I don't understand how the family says, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry, and all of a sudden now they're not guilty, and we're going to have to wait another year to go to trial. It's torture.
Well, at this time, only the defense knows what this new evidence is. Even though this was a very emotional day for them, they are vowing to return in 2 weeks for this and every other hearing.
Okay, reporter, I've got news for you. Let me see if I can get through this. There is no healing. There is no closure. That family is one big, gaping wound that is not going to go away. Capiche?
Please, sir. I want some more.
There is no little magic bullet that once those fellas go into the courtroom and say they're guilty and they go away, everybody's going to breathe a sigh of relief and go home and start their life over again. I think those people know, I think they know the truth. Their life is ruined. And now they're just going to have to try to salvage something from the ruins. That's the way it is when your family is a victim of murder and death like that. The reporter didn't know it. Maybe the reporter knew it. He was just overwhelmed that somebody finally actually said it, even if it did risk making a couple of black kids angry.